All right, let's check it out now. How's that sound? Sounds good to me, Al. Wouldn't you say?
No. I don't know.
Yeah,
I need to work on my accents. I can't do
work
it.
on the accent a bit, yeah, love.
No, I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm just gonna work on different languages. How about that? Pat, let's learn a different language, and we'll teach everybody a word. What language should we start with? We could just do one word.
Que idioma?
Que idioma. How about listeners, please write us. Or Portuguese.
Je mange 2%.
Italiano. I don't know. Italiano. Or we could do slang.
Bene, yeah.
Richie rocks.
Why are we whispering?
That was Bad Bunny, Soy Peor, the remix for you guys.
Well, it's peor.
Guess Peor is worse. I'm the worst is what it is saying.
Órale.
That's what that whole song is about. What do they say? If you thought I was a son of a bitch before, I'm worse. That's pretty much what the song is saying. Like, this is that trap shit. I love it.
Man.
Pat, why didn't you go with us? That's all we were listening to in Miami.
I wish I could have been down there. I had a nice weekend here, but in my mind, I was like, damn, I should have been there.
I should have been sending you like more Snapchats. You don't have Snapchat. Guys,
Nope.
He doesn't have Snapchat. I mean, it's pretty much
Snapchat's
all about
pretty much
Instagram
dead.
stories now, but you should
Twitter's
still have Snapchat.
dead. Snapchat's dead.
Twitter's dead. I think Twitter's dying.
Just delete those things and
don't
open
use
up some
those.
more space on your phone for, Uber and
Photos.
Instagram.
Yeah. What new apps?
You heard it here first.
I'm trying to think about Postmates. I'm looking at my apps right now. OfferUp. You guys have? Do you have those apps? Have you
I
ever
don't
heard
have
of those?
OfferUp or Postmates.
What about Flipboard? Do you use Flipboard?
I used to have Flipboard when it first came out on my Samsung Galaxy S3. And I loved it when I had it, and then I just never had it after I had that phone. That phone broke.
It's so good. That's
because it came standard on that phone.
I do a lot of reading on there. Do you have WhatsApp?
No.
If you're international, you have WhatsApp. Get WhatsApp. You and Pat are
I had it. I did have it for a while. I had it when I worked at a hotel, and the owner of the hotel went to India for a month.
Oh, he's like, do you have WhatsApp?
Yeah.
I'm on
And they're
WhatsApp.
like,
Let me know how my hotel is
you're
doing.
getting WhatsApp, so we can communicate. I can tell you, so we can call.
So I can see how it's going. I don't know my.
You must answer your phone, no matter what. They said. You must answer the call.
Answer the call. I think that should be like our tagline. You must answer the call.
But no, they're cool people. I'm not like mocking them to make fun of them. I'm like legitimately trying to sound like them, like imitate them.
They
so
sound
you get
like
the picture.
They sound like concerned business owners, which
They were.
I respect.
They were straight up.
They're like, call us, please. We want to know what's happening.
I was
here.
like, I don't want that on my phone. Like, you're getting it. It's free. Like, okay. All right, whatever you say.
Oh, that's what he's saying. So, guys, we're the Realennials.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Realennials.
Welcome. I'm Ruby.
I'm Pat. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Listening to us talk about stuff and more stuff.
We took a little time off to reacclimate.
Yeah, kind of get things figured out. You know, millennial shit. Real millennial shit. Realennial shit.
Real.
It really is. I know you guys are doing the same shit out there, so it's not like you guys were like, oh my god, what are they doing? You guys were out trying to deal with your own real shit. The struggle.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. The hustle is real.
I just want to travel and do cool shit. Why do we have to work?
I don't know. They say if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So maybe we need to find like something we love to do.
Another one of those cliche sayings.
I mean, it is. For sure it is. But, you know.
Cliche?
If you make it happen, then maybe that could work. I don't know. I feel like work is work. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do what I gotta do.
Yeah, work is work. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I feel like that's also a cliche saying. It's one of those things when you're like in the situation and the cliche saying seemingly applies, but then when you use it, you're like, oh, that didn't work out how they're saying. Or, you know, like, yeah, it didn't work out. That was conventional wisdom.
Too simple. Like, it gets more complicated than all of that.
Everything is so much more complicated than it seems. But then, you know, conversely, other things are more simple than they appear.
That's true.
Marinate on that.
Yo, I mean, okay, guys, listen. And Pat, I'm turning 30 in 2 weeks, okay? How many of you have been here? How many of you have been to this place where you're like evaluating what's going on around you? You know what I'm saying? You're almost reevaluating what you want to happen in the future. It's this like turning 30. Maybe it's a birthday thing because I kind of do it every year. Around my birthday, I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing? Like, this is a millennial struggle. I think we're right in the midst of it as real millennials. Like, right now, and turning 30 is a new 21. Nobody don't care about no 21 no more. It's about turning 30. It's about being...
Wait, do you think that's only our perspective because we're 30?
Definitely.
Because I'm pretty sure when we turned 21, there were 30-year-olds who didn't care anything about 21-year-olds also.
Oh, that's true. Let me cope how I need to cope, Pat.
You're right, though. But that's where what I was talking about earlier was when you become a true master of your emotions, you can recognize, not that I am by any means.
Me either.
That things like your age don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, you're either progressing and moving towards your goals or you're not. And like, your age doesn't really have anything to do with that, because no matter how accomplished you are, you can like, happiness is fleeting, right? So when you accomplish your goals, even when you accomplish your biggest goal, you're immediately then can become unsatisfied. So you're constantly progressing on working towards goals.
Hedonic treadmill. Guys, remember we talked about this in like episode 2 or 3, and if you haven't been listening to us for that long,
you can go back and check it out.
Go back and check it out.
So it's just about the progress, right? And so when you are... But people will tell you, and it's crazy because humans are living longer. So you have more time. Theoretically, you have more time. I mean, you could die. You can go out at any moment. And you do have to appreciate every day, day by day. But I forgot what my point was exactly. The point about progressing.
Yeah.
So I just think time is irrelevant in terms of how you're
like
progressing.
Age. Because we were talking about age.
As long as you stay constant in your endeavors of progress, then the time or the age are kind of irrelevant.
Well, yeah, I can say that in theory, but for me, it's been very real these past like few weeks where I've been reflecting. Maybe it's more reflection than anything. I don't know. Maybe there's a stigma around the age 30. I don't know what necessarily what it is, because I don't know. Everybody like celebrates getting there, but also kind of just like thinks, oh shit, this is supposed to be a milestone almost. Don't you agree? That 30 is supposed to be like, oh, I had this going on. Like, you thought that.
I don't think that it is 30 per se, but I think it is around 30.
Like,
roughly 28 to 32, when theoretically you should be coming to some realization about your life.
Yeah.
Like, you maybe should be realizing who you actually are as a person and becoming comfortable or accepting that. And also be kind of a little bit more, maybe this is where we get messed up as millennials specifically. Like, you're theoretically supposed to have, like, decided on a route.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
Well, yeah, and where are those ideals coming from? You know, our parents. And there's a major difference between their generation and our generation. We want different things. Different things fulfill us. So I think 30 is probably the age where everyone starts waking up to the fact. Like,
but do you think me coming 30 in our generation at this moment in time is different than the coming of 30 from our parents or the parents before that?
I think so. I think people, yeah. Just because, think about it, our parents at 30 probably had been at their job already 10 years. They were probably doing the same thing that they were doing from when they started. They had kids probably. I know my parents had 2 kids by the age they were 30. They already owned a house, multiple cars, you know?
Yeah.
Had to take care, like, had things that they had to take care of. So I don't know. I just don't, maybe it's just me. I mean, maybe other 30-year-olds are at that point. There are people out there that are, like, married with kids and that are dealing with those types of things, but that's not my reality.
Had 3 kids and had been married twice by the time she was 30.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people have a entire life before they're 30. I don't know. It might be the same. I don't know. I'd have to talk to somebody. I think it's
different because of the internet. We grew up where
yes,
a unique point in history where the internet has changed everything. The internet and technology in general has changed everything. It's changed how we date as a generation. It's changed how we work. In fact, my job, what I do now, would be technically considered a paper pusher back in the 50s or 60s. Like, literally, I would not have a computer, and I would just be pushing stacks of paper all day long. But I don't touch a single piece of paper all day. For generally days and, like, months at a time. Like, the only paper I touch is post-it notes to myself to remind me to do things.
Because you do everything online.
Yeah, because I do everything on a computer. So that point was just to illustrate the advancement in technology, but the advancement in technology in general is meant to illustrate my point in how different it is for us as a generation and how we interact with each other and how we interact with our occupations. I'm not saying what the cause is per se, because it appears to me, just off of observations, that we have trouble existing and functioning and communicating with each other more so than maybe our parents had or people that of a previous generation. Or maybe they had trouble too and they just dealt with it differently, you know?
That's probably, I think it's both, but that's a good alternative to that. That's crazy.
But my point, circling back, is that I think that it's just different from us at 30 than our parents at 30 or their parents before them. And it's not inherently good or bad per se, but it is different. And so I think it has to be evaluated through a different lens, as my point. It's not fair to compare our experience to their experience.
No, that's not fair, because everybody does have a unique experience. And, you know, the generation before us had a different struggle. This generation has a different struggle, and then the generation after us is going to deal with some other shit. And you know what? The generation after us is going to deal with shit that we create. So actually, me and Pat were talking before this podcast started, and we were like thinking we need to do some more research on maybe like the baby boomers.
But our generation is even more different than like I mean, there's things that happen in history. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to make a quick point.
Yeah.
There's a significant difference between our generation than previous generations, and that has to do with the magnitude of the difference. Because, there's been magnitudes of change, especially over the last 100 years, but that's only been like 3 generations, but essentially. But like before that, the change in between generations was so long. Like, I mean, like 1,000 years would go by and the same cultural things would still exist.
Yeah, that's true.
For over 1,000 years. Think of like Egypt, for instance. I mean, I'm not a historian, so whatever, but like there are instances in history that made a big difference, and that was like, think about after the Protestant Reformation. Mm-hmm. How people thought about religion differently, and that still actually took like 100 years for that to be legitimized, but way longer than like the advent of the internet has been around. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry I cut you off. I just was trying to prove that point.
I'm just having issues right now that I'm going to be turning 30. Pretty much that's all I'm trying to say. Like, I had a meltdown in Miami. I had a fucking meltdown. Like, yeah. I just all hit me at once. And it's crazy because, I don't know, maybe I had drank a couple extra drinks that I should have, whatever. But you know how that goes, people. What is it? Drunk words or sober thoughts or what? Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Have you heard that before?
You've never heard that? Well, I don't know. But it's just like this age. I don't know. Millennials, are you struggling with this? What are you guys dealing with out there? That's my struggle. I mean, me and Pat are just trying to hustle and just like trying to work every day, like towards something that we want, what somebody else wants, what somebody else thinks that we want. Like, we just want to be working towards what we want to do. I think I actually talked to a couple people this weekend about it, and it seems like it's other people feel as if they should be doing something different based on our parents. Like, our parents gave us the ideals, or like society has given us there's been these outside forces telling us what we should be doing, and our instinct is not to do those things. And it's like a real struggle because it's like, okay, so do I do what is expected of me, or do I do what I want to do? Because I'm getting some major heat for not doing what I want to do, but that's how I feel. Right. Like, I think that's the struggle. And it's hard because, I know a lot of people that have figured out their passion and have, are working every day, and they're just like, they're probably thinking, how is this my job? How am I making money? I just want to get to that point. And I feel like at the age of 30, this is a perfect time to start evaluating how to get there if I'm not already there. Right. So that's just kind of been what I've been dealing with lately. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
Cray.
I think there's conflict because we do compare ourselves to the generation before, where it's like, by this age, my parents already had a career path figured out. For they had been doing that for like 5 years before now already, probably. Mm-hmm. Had kids and had everything figured out. Now part of us part of the reason is because we don't have it figured out and we're 30, Yeah. I think most people don't have it figured out. I think most people that claim to have, and in fact I think even our parents' generation,
they didn't have it figured out.
Really even have it figured out.
No, everybody really is just out here
getting by.
Faking it till getting by. Fake it till you make it. Just keep doing what you got to do. It's true.
And so
nobody's an expert.
By that observation, I feel like there's no really need to like freak out about it. It's just I think the thing is that we come to a certain age, and this could happen. This is what I was saying. Like, it could happen anywhere between 28 and like 32, where you come to terms with your mortality. you start realizing that it's like, oh, like my youth is like gone, and now it's just like adulthood, and like only so much more time of that is left, and then it's like, okay, descending into old age. But then, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of what, like, part of that getting to 30 and, like, becoming a certain age, around that age where you kind of figure that out. And then things become more urgent. Like, oh, I do need to figure it out because I don't have that as much time as I thought I did growing up.
That's exactly how it feels. It does get more urgent. You know,
so it can be a little bit more stressful for sure.
To piggyback off of that, you know what they say, what makes things more urgent? Probably the realization of death, but also there's something called the baby effect, where when you find out you're gonna have a kid, you kind of just go into, fuck, I gotta think about somebody else now, so I gotta do what I gotta do to do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that happens,
like
for sure.
The baby effect. So it could be the same thing. The 30 thing is like, you realize that time is running out, kind of.
Plus, I do believe it's true that we're biologically driven to reproduce. And so there's some, like, biological aspect of people who haven't had kids to, like, feel some sort of way about that. And I don't think anything we have control over. It's literally, like, millions of years of evolution.
Just making the decisions over our conscious mind. That's crazy.
I know.
It's an instinct. Yeah. It's like human instinct. It's just...
And so those of us who live in this generation of millennials or Realennials. Those are conflicts that we're, like, internally dealing with every day that generations before us have not dealt with.
No, they had different struggles.
That are pretty specific to us. And I think that's part of, historically, like, we were talking about the difference between being raised from immigrant parents and not. I think that the difference in being raised in a technology generation versus not is more significant than that difference.
I agree.
Because I think previously there was so much information that could be transferred down that was applicable, that was practical information that's passed on. But the things that we were told, to me, so this is my observation, they don't add up in the way our lives are. Or as integrated with technology.
No, they don't. It has not been adding up. There's a divide there.
And I think that's what causes a lot of, like...
Cognitive dissonance?
Which
we also talked about in an earlier podcast. Please go look
and in my case,
podcast.
contributes to depression and things that, cause me to view the world from a particular perspective.
Depression is can we just take a second and talk about how depression is real, people? Depression is a real thing. Like, just any kind of mental, I don't call it illness, just anything to do mentally. People get anxiety. Like, I feel like you can relate. If you don't know somebody that's dealing with something, you are dealing with it. Whether you know it or not, people are really good at hiding these types of things, or like functioning through them. But it's true, like, a lot of these factors contribute to those feelings, like just bad feelings in general, because it doesn't match what you think and what's happening. That's that cognitive dissonance,
right?
And that's that bad feeling. It's like the contradiction between where what it should be and what it is. And I personally myself deal with it by trying not to have expectations. And I learned that from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And that's a really cool book. If you guys haven't read
that's
it.
That's a big, that's like a main tenet of philosophy.
Like Buddhism or of, like Taoism.
It's if you don't have desires, then you can't be let down.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I don't want to get trying to describe too much into that, because I don't know. I'm not an expert on Buddhism, but it's effectively it's a fundamentalism of, like, simplicity, return to simplicity, which or
just like presence.
Yeah, it's a contributing factor, or I don't know if it's contributing. cause versus correlation, but it's definitely a component emotion of like my inherent need to reject consumerism. But so I mean that's a different story. But so like specifically about depression, that shit hit me pretty hard for whatever reason. Like whenever the Linkin Park lead singer Chester Bennington,
Oh yeah,
killed himself recently, I think just last week. And it kind of always hits me whenever, specifically like when people that I'm not like the biggest Linkin Park fan ever, but I am a music fan in general. I can appreciate the unique music that they made. But even when like Chris Cornell killed himself from Soundgarden, and even as far back as Robin Williams when he killed himself, and it's like,
oh yeah,
it's like wow. To me, the reason it hit me the hardest, and especially particularly at this time in my life, while I'm 30, is like it really hit me hard because it's the realization that no matter how successful I am, or how rich I can be, or how many kids I have, or who I'm married to, like that this will always be a struggle in my life.
yeah.
And it will be something that I constantly have to fight my whole life, no matter what. And it's like that to me hit me pretty hard, and it was like, wow, that's a tough pill to swallow.
That is a tough pill to swallow.
Because he even, I used to think that just knowing about it and being able to talk about it, that it would like help prevent the worst of it. But like he did that, he openly spoke about it, and like his music was mostly written about that. And he talked about it in interviews, and he had, he's married to a beautiful woman and had kids, and was on top of the world, was about to release this record, and like still couldn't prevent his depression. Like none of that prevented his depression from like controlling his emotions to the point where he took his own life.
That's a real rash decision, like in the moment. I mean, he could have been. I don't know. Anyways, but I see what you're saying. That is a pretty devastating thought, and I've dealt with depression. It's a bitch. Like it's real hard. It's real hard to pull yourself up, especially there's medication and tactics of handling it or whatever, just dealing with it, and that's the ultimate way to deal with it, I guess. And so it is kind of, when things like that happen, you do kind of have to reflect on just like everything, like how to deal with just life in general. And I don't want to be a downer, but I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of people that go through this, a lot of people
right.
that just don't know how to handle certain aspects of life. Like, just, it's an emotional, it's like a mood thing. It's like an emotional thing. It's really hard to control.
Right.
I don't know. Like, if you haven't dealt with depression, I don't know how much you can relate.
Joe Rogan thinks, and this is obviously a purely unprofessional observation, but it's still an observation nonetheless, that it is the attributes of our generation of like instant gratification and all these things, and specifically without purpose, that contributes to our mind being overrun with like things. So I'll combine my philosophy and his philosophy and I'll try to distinguish them. Mm-hmm. Where he says that things like not being active, not exercising, not, so to speak, not being able to go for the hunt, mm-hmm. like as our ancestors did before. Like we sit in offices and we build up all this tension and anxiety and all these things, compared to like what our bodies were built for and designed for through biology. So our bodies just hormonally and biologically have a hard time coping with that change. It's particularly our diets. And
our diets kind of control our hormones.
Schedules, yeah. And so, but I agree with that and add on that, that it is consumerism and it is technology, and it is all these things that detach us from our emotions and our emotion. So we've been stripped of our physical purpose already, and so I think the technology is stripping us of our like emotional dexterities and our emotional components of the human condition. And our bodies, because we're still of those past generations, are having a hard time coping with that. I think probably our kids and our kids' will be more acclimated to dealing with a technology integrated society. But we're coping with we're the defining, what I was saying earlier, we're the defining generation, like, of detachment from previous to new.
Yeah.
And we don't have like a place in it. That's what it feels like. This is just a personal observation. I'm sure not everybody agrees with what I'm saying, but this is just how I observe our place and time right now, our generation. And it's probably like the generation before and generation after. It's like a fluid thing. It's not just black and white, like people born 1986 or whatever, like.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's more of a mindset, I think.
I don't know. That's kind of my philosophy on that. I wasn't intending to get too deep, but it happened.
What? Stay woke, people. Stay woke.
I'm going to use the restroom real quick, and then I want to hear about Miami.
Okay. Well, let's play some songs in the meantime.
Some bumper music.
Te dijeron que soy un infiel, que no debes de confiar en mí. Dime si tú le vas a creer.
That was those Miami vibes right there. That's what we had going on.
I know.
Man, it was dope. Oh, check it. Look. Here it is. You can't see it, but like, you can I go like this.
Oh, yeah?
All the way around.
Oh, yeah, you can see where it curves. What are those all Yeezys?
No, they're all Air Force Ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a little over the top, literally. Oh, man.
Miami was good, man. Miami was good. I fell in love with that city. Probably gonna call it home, guys. Me and Pat are just gonna get up and move to Miami. Just like doing it. We already decided. We came up with a game plan. We had tacos earlier, and you know what? Tacos help you think. We were thinking straight, or we were thinking really irrationally because we just wanted to eat the tacos. I don't know. Just like say anything so we can just stop talking and eating.
How was your flight out there?
The flight out there was good. We left really early in the morning. We thought we were gonna miss it, but you get through security so fast at MCI. It's like 15 minutes tops. So we got through. We went from here to Nashville to Fort Lauderdale. That's where we flew into, and it was dope. I mean, we had a good trip. We rented a car. We used Turo. This is not sponsored, but we used Turo, and that was my first time using Turo. And we got I don't remember what model it was. A Lexus. It was a hybrid.
Damn.
But I thought, it'd be nice.
This is so tight.
Yeah, it'd be nice to drive a Lexus, and it'd be nice to save on gas because we knew we were gonna be driving around. So we got that for the weekend, and we got an Airbnb. It's not sponsored, and and the Airbnb was fucking dope. It was so nice. It was so nice. We had views of downtown, views of South Beach. No, not South Beach, but like views of those little islands in between the mainland and the island. Mm-hmm. And it was really nice. Like, it was beautiful. Our cousin got there before we did. Actually, our friend picked us up as soon as we got there, so it was really nice to see him. He took us around. And then we got our car, went to our place, we got dinner, and then we went out that night. And the nightlife in Miami is real. Like,
that's what they say.
Oh my gosh, Pat. I was just trying to live as ratchet as I could,
Live as what?
As ratchet as I could.
What's that?
Ratchet.
Ratchet. Okay.
Not. I mean, you know me, but for real, I was trying to have a good time. So we did go out. We did not get into the club the first night. We went out too late. Like, we were like talking, getting ready, and having a drink. And by the time we Ubered out there, it was too late to get in anywhere. You know, everywhere was packed.
What time did you get there? Y'all be going late.
Probably like 1. Like,
How'd you
1
get out
o'clock.
so late?
We had guests at our place, so we were entertaining for a bit.
Guests?
We had guests at our Airbnb.
What kind of guests?
We met some people and we were like, come by. And so we were just like...
Some people that you knew?
Some people that we got to know, so...
Okay.
No, this is... So, yeah, no, we just like made some moves, met some people, had them come over, had a drink, and then we were all like, okay, let's all roll out. But actually, no, we parted ways. We went... Us girls went down to South Beach. They went somewhere else. But yeah, it was fun. No, we did get into a club. I think it's called Club Wall or some shit. It was fun. I mean, they played really good music. They were playing everything.
Yeah.
And they played a lot of that Spanish trap. They played a lot of hip hop. That's about it. That's all they played. That's all I needed to hear.
Was it all Hispanics down there?
No, it was surprisingly everywhere. But we were in the club. Like, everybody is out in Miami to be at the club. So it's like not going to be probably...
Representative of everyone that
yeah,
lives there.
it's not going to be representative of everyone that lives there. But
was it like touristy at the clubs? Was there a lot of like people from out of town at the clubs?
I couldn't really tell. I was too busy dancing, and I don't know. The boys all looked exotic, so I was cool with that. I didn't care where they were from as long as they were there.
Okay. I ain't mad about it.
You know? So, I don't know. We did that. That was on Thursday night. Friday night, we got up. I don't even remember, to be honest. What did I do on Friday? I think we picked up Crystal from the airport.
You went to the club on Friday night.
We
right?
went to the club. No, we went to the club on Thursday night.
Oh, when we got there.
Yeah, and then Friday morning, we went to Little Havana on Friday.
Oh shit!
We went to Little Havana.
Did you get a nice pork sandwich?
Well, I got pollo y arroz. Arroz y pollo. Arroz y pollo, that's what it is. Just like a traditional Cuban dish. It was freaking... It was so good. I know some people in our party were not satisfied with their meal, but I think it's because they got the wrong thing.
Yeah. What did they get?
I'm trying to remember what my sister got. I don't remember what Dulce got. Dulce got some kind of like smothered pork thing. And ceviche. She got ceviche for the group, and it was delicious.
Was ceviche good? I've never had it. Everyone keeps telling me I gotta try it.
No, it was really good. And you know what? I'm not like, that freaks me out. Ceviche freaks me out. Like, it's just it's marinated in just like lime, and that's what cooks it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, no.
It does technically make sense on like
I mean, it makes sense,
chemistry level, but it doesn't sound appetizing.
No, it doesn't sound like it should work. But anyways, it was good. Omar got there. And he got there, and he met us there. And then, so we had him, my cousin Dulce, my sister, and me. I don't remember what everyone got. Honestly, I was too stoked on my food. Like, I got tostones on the side too, and tostones are like double fried plantains.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
They were so... I mean, I could not finish all of my meal. I took half of it home, and I had it on Saturday night. Because, like, on Saturday, everybody went to the game. So I was, like, driving people around. So I just was, like, I got back to our spot, and I just, like, was like, oh, my God, I'm going to heat up this food, you know, just kick it. And I got online and was just, like, I was just taking some downtime, you know, just getting on the internet and... swiping super hard and seeing what was up. No, honestly, I was, like, looking at how much the... apartments were around that area. You know what I'm saying? I started doing my research, like, how can I live this life? You should have been looking for a job there. Yeah, I was, but what if my current employer hears this?
I mean, it's not like you're looking for serious.
But I was.
I did that whenever
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked Miami that much that I was, like, so serious that as soon as I dropped these people off at the stadium, I came back to our spot and I was like, okay, pull your laptop out, eat some leftover Cuban food and start looking on how to make your life in Miami. Like, that's how much I loved it.
I did that when I was in Daytona Beach. I was like looking at apartments, like looking at for rent signs when I was driving by. Man, it would be so easy to get a job there. I mean, it depends on your standards. Like, because back then I just worked in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, I can come out here and wash dishes and live by the beach and live in a shitty apartment. I already live in a shitty apartment. So it's like, and I already work at a shitty restaurant.
I'll just do it in a different city.
By the beach.
Yeah, by the beach.
You know?
Every day.
I was like contemplating it so hard back then. That was before I was in school and everything. All I had was a shitty job.
Yeah.
So it's like I could have a shitty job anywhere.
That's true. You really can. Oh, but no. On Friday, after we went to Little Havana, which took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, we got back and we had a cruise, a sunset cruise at 6 o'clock. So we like hustled.
This was on Friday?
This was on Friday. So on Friday night, and this sunset cruise, it was great. We got like a Groupon for it.
I saw some of the pics and videos from that.
Yes, it was so good. And it was fairly inexpensive. We got all you can drink wine, beer, and like snacky foods. We were there like 3 hours, just like riding around, kicking it, sitting down. Yeah. And they had a like really cool crew. Like they were just like refilling us anytime they saw our cups empty. Here they come over. Was there any bays
to flirt with?
Oh, there was no like it was a lot of girls on that cruise, and there was no bays.
That sounds like the spot to be though.
All the bays had bays, so everybody like it was either a couple or a group of girls that was on this thing.
Dang.
And I mean the crew was there
for all the fellas out there. They're just looking for girls.
Yeah, just go get on one of these cruises. You have 3 hours of their uninterrupted time. Like,
damn. Or
go to Target. They're already looking for useless shit. So
damn.
They'll pick you up real easy there. That's a meme I saw. I can't even give myself credit for all those fuckers out there that are like, that's a meme. Yeah, that's where I got it. Okay, and I'm using it right now.
Damn. That was great. That was appropriate.
No, but that cruise was so dope. We like got such beautiful views of the sunset and the Miami skyline. It was so great. We drove by Gloria Estefan's house and Frank Sinatra's first house and Al Capone's house.
You boated by.
Boated by. We did not drive by. We boated by. I mean, yeah, you can't drive by. It's an island. You gotta boat by.
On an island?
There's islands out there that you can only access by helicopter or boat. So you gotta have it to get there.
Dang.
You can't even drive. You couldn't walk. You can have you could swim.
You can have a jet ski though. $10,000 for a pretty nice one.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
$30,000 probably, same as a car.
It's like a motorcycle.
I would be living out there. Hell no, though. Not with hurricanes.
What do they do?
They fucking leave the state. I tell people, I joke about this in the past. People from all over the country, they are notorious. Well, they think that Kansas is notoriously known for tornadoes.
Yeah.
They say, I can never live there. I'm scared of tornadoes. But I've met people from Florida that's like, I can never live in Kansas because of tornadoes. It's like, you live where there's hurricanes.
Yeah.
Like
that's like a tornado, but
it's like
with water, like it's more devastating.
A tornado, you have to go to the basement. Like in Florida, and if it's a hurricane, you have to leave the state. Like you have to fucking go out to Georgia or someplace. Like you board up your house and leave the state. It's like, how is there even any comparison? And it causes the same damage. So it's like, how are you gonna say tornado? Yeah, but tornadoes are scary, bro. Like, let's say because they watch too much fucking TV movies. Like,
no, a tornado doesn't flood your. Like, okay, you go to the basement and you're good. Your house goes away, but you're probably safe in the basement. But
hopefully.
Hopefully, yes, you're right. But in a hurricane, that basement is flooded. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's water everywhere. Your house is gone. You're stuck in that.
Yeah, your fucking roof is torn off of your house is ripped from the foundation, which can happen in a tornado, but generally speaking, it only happens in the path of the tornado, which is never generally more than like, I would estimate, and I'm just estimating, I have taken meteorology before, so.
So you know everything.
Not everything about it. My point is I'm not entirely pulling this out of my ass, but kind of. It's like no more than like a quarter-mile wide tornado is fucking huge. Like, that's touching the... I'm talking about touching the ground on the ground. Like, probably no more than, like, 50 yards across is the path of, like, a tornado. Like, where it touches the ground.
Yeah.
Now, where the funnel gets big, that's generally probably, like, a quarter mile, sometimes more. The F5s are fucking huge.
Not at the bottom.
An F5 can be, like, a half a mile across. That's, like, one of the biggest.
Holy shit. That is the biggest, right? The F5 is the end of the scale.
On the Fujita scale.
Yeah.
But my point is, a hurricane will fuck your shit up. And not just your house, but your cousin's house across the state of Florida. You know what I mean? And, like, your grandparents' house across town.
Everybody's getting hit.
And your friend's house 2 hours away. Everyone's shit's getting fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. Because tornadoes, it's like, okay, some people are going to have, like, less damage, but the direct path in which it goes is going to be fucked up. Yeah. I mean, there could be places across the street that don't really get that much damage. But a hurricane, that pretty much covers.
You got to leave the state.
You got to leave the state.
So, fuck all these haters talking about, oh, I can't do tornadoes.
I mean, I got a bird's eye view. I did a helicopter ride around the beach. Like all of Miami Beach and South Beach and the islands. And
you see all the global warming yet?
I saw the global warming, and we saw sharks. Like, the water's that clear where you're flying on the helicopter. You can see sharks and manatees and
stay tuned for the travel vlog.
Yeah, I'll get that out. And stingrays. It was great. It was so dope. But, like, I can't imagine, like, just seeing it from up top, like, right there, how it would be for a hurricane. Like, it seems like how does it even stay above water? Like it should be covered. It's all little islands, like all little islands right there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. If global warming keeps going the way it's going, guys, everybody move to Miami right now because it may not be there in the near future.
Yeah, I'm having
better California.
Anyways, what happened on Saturday? So. Game happened on Friday, right?
No, game happened on Saturday.
Saturday.
Friday
was yacht night.
Yeah, Friday was yacht night. We tried to go out that night. Drake was at a club called Story. I fucked up because I was, like, texting 2 different promoters. You know, they like try to get girls in, so guys will pay money for bottles and, like, you know, we were all cute girls, so I was like, yeah, we can get in places. But I, like, started confusing the people I was talking to, and okay, not completely my fault, like, because I'm not the only one hitting people up. Like, people in my group were also hitting up their people, like, oh, we can get us in this place, we can get us in this place. You know, okay, guys, we're just trying to drink for free, okay? We're Realennials. We're trying to save our money for lattes and avocados, not on booze on vacation. So,
right.
Like, we're chicks. We can probably get that for free. So we were trying
avocado toast.
Avocado toast, like, we can. Brunches. So instead, we didn't end up getting in. Like, we were just kind of, I mean, we could have if we really tried, but we just kind of kicked it. We're enjoying the vibes. That's the night that I had a meltdown. I was just, like, on South Beach, and I don't know. I, like, went back, and my cousin Lutza was there, and, you know, we're pretty close. We, like, grew up together. We would always spend the night at each other's houses, and, like, we're close. And I just had a meltdown. I was like, none of this matters. Like, I was going cray, dude. Like, It was a midlife crisis. I was like, it doesn't matter how much money I make or what boy I talk to, or, like, I was like, like, that might not make me happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just was starting to go crazy. Like, I just want to do what I want to do. Like, I don't want to have to do what other people think I want to do. Like, I don't know.
That's what I've been telling you about.
I just started having a fucking meltdown. We went back. She's very nice. She's, like, sat outside with me on the balcony.
Do you have a hickey on your neck?
Did you have to bring that up right now? Yes, I do have a hickey on my neck. I'm just saying I did Miami like I was supposed to do Miami. That's all I gotta say.
Fair enough.
About that. But anyways, on Friday night I freaked out. I had a midlife crisis pretty much, and just, like, questioned everything about my life. And I think a lot of it stemmed from, I was in the midst of all of this, like, you know, think about it. I should have been happy being in, like, Miami, South Beach with friends, with drinks, around people. And for some reason, I didn't feel happy. Like, I didn't feel, and that's probably partly my fault, you know, maybe my attitude was shitty, but I just was like, started to question what's going to make me happy. I was like, is this making me happy? Like, would I be better off if I was, you know, at home with a boyfriend and or like with a husband and kids, or like out filming, or out like, or actually in the club, or like, would I be having more fun just at the movies? Like, I don't know what my deal was, to be honest. It was probably just more drinking than I should have done, because I got super emotional. But
that's how I am when I take acid.
I didn't take acid. Nobody offered me acid in Miami. I
That
got a lot of
really
offers for stuff, but that wasn't
your
one.
Life
Acid
and shrooms.
Yeah, I've never tried shrooms, and I would like to. There's a lot of great research on psilocybin right now, which is what mushrooms have in it, and so like it seems almost a little more acceptable to start doing psychedelics. So people are, it's actually remarkable. People are curing anxiety and depression with microdosing with psilocybin. But like, I can see how just eating mushrooms and doing mushrooms might give you it's actually, I think that's how it works. It lights up a bunch of different parts of your brain that don't usually connect. So when you're on mushrooms, you're like you're making connections that you wouldn't have made normally. So shit, maybe I should have taken mushrooms in Miami. I don't know. Would I have been tripping?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good given the people you were with and the scenario. My recommendation for that is to take it in nature. Like for me, I want to go on a camping trip and like out to Colorado or somewhere. Sorry,
or like
I have
at
to
the
sneeze.
Or like at the Grand Canyon or something.
Maybe, but I have a fear of like falling off a cliff.
Oh shit, yeah.
And people fall off cliffs at Grand Canyon and die and shit.
Fuck that.
Or they get pushed off by their spouses who went to life insurance. In any event, that's neither here nor there. My point is,
do what you gotta do.
My point is that you're having that mental breakdown that I was talking about. I was describing it. You hadn't even told me that, like, exactly what you went through on Friday night.
Yeah.
But it seems like I was describing that already.
Yeah, you were.
Like, you told me that you had like a mental breakdown, kind of, but you didn't tell me like how it went down. You know.
No, I just.
But that's kind of what I was describing in terms of like why it's hard for us as millennials to cope with our place in time.
It is hard, and you did hit the nail on the head. Like I don't know how to. I just started questioning who I am. And like we did talk about over dinner, we talked about how I'm starting to feel more comfortable with who I am, but like I started to evaluate where I'm getting my ideas from. And I already do that. I think me and you both do that more. We have a lot of, I feel like we've both progressed a lot in the past 10 years in self-awareness, and just to kind of be aware of what's going on with us and how it relates to our surroundings, right? Because we're both very, like, we know that depression is an issue. We know, we tell you guys out there to stay woke. You know, we're constantly evaluating our situations, and we're trying to fix them, or at least like analyze them enough to know what to fix later. But I started questioning, like, what makes me happy? Like, does this make me happy? I'm not happy. Like, it was so weird. I was dressed so nice. Like, I was so cute. I looked so Miami. And I just, like, I was like, this doesn't make me happy. Like, right. Being hot and being out here and just, like, you know, getting looked at, or just, like, enjoying a drink, it didn't fulfill me at that moment. And I felt almost ungrateful, because I was like, this is a good moment. And I still appreciated the fact that I was out there, but I could not help feeling that way. Like, I couldn't. And I actually, like, left the group for a bit and just, like, went and just, like, cried in the bathroom. And, you know, that's my shit to deal with. So I went to deal with it. But I came back and everyone's like, you know, what's up? Your vibes are kind of off. And I just wanted to, like, yell and just be like, none of this shit matters. Like, you guys all think this matters? Like, this doesn't matter. Like, what is happiness? What is life?
Right.
You know, and that was the meltdown. Like, I didn't want anybody else to have to go through it with me, because it was just me being super emotional.
It's and it all personal experience too. Yeah. You know? No, that's how it is. Like sometimes that happens too, and I realize that too. And that's why I'm not always so quick to like just take a trip, just to take a trip. You know, it's like I have to, because I've been on trips and I've spent a lot of money on trips and I've done things where it's like, oh, this isn't how I pictured it in my mind, and I don't get any satisfaction of it. But that lends itself to my actual philosophy of like, excuse me, happiness comes from a place of like, working towards fulfilling your potential. It's like if the things that you're doing aren't in that direction, like you're not going to feel a sense of happiness. And in fact, if you do things like spend a ton of money on traveling or you spend a lot of energy on something particular, it's like takes even negative away from your goal. And so when you're in that moment and you're realizing like, oh, this is still not what I'm doing, you realize that you're like in a different place entirely, but you're still not doing what you need to be doing in order to fulfill your potential.
That was it. Because I kept thinking, like, I should be at home working. Like, I should have my camera with me, so I should be doing, like, interviewing people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like just sitting there and being there in that moment. But I've been through that,
and that's why you see me when you look into my eyes and you ask me, like, oh, Pat, let's do this. Like, when you're like, let's go to France, or let's go to this, or let's go to that. And it's like, I'm not in a place where I can do that and feel all that benefits from it.
Yeah. No, and you know what? I think it was... I don't know if it was Seneca or Cicero. I gotta look into it. I think it was Seneca. In one of his letters, he wrote that, like, he devoted an entire letter to saying that travel will not fulfill, like, being lost. It's pretty much what he's saying. Like, you can go everywhere in the world, but you're not ever going to get away from those feelings. So I approach travel the same way now after knowing that. And you know me, I'm always like, I'm just a down ass. Like, I'm just like ready to go and do some shit. But at the same time, like, I've had to come to the realization that those trips, moving around, just like being somewhere different isn't going to fulfill me like I think it is. And so I've started to look deeper into like what that's going to be. And I think the past few weeks and probably the next few weeks are going to be that, you know, figuring that out. But that's what self-awareness is, people.
Yeah, and that's good because maybe you needed that trip to come to this realization in order to push you over, you know. Yeah. And without the trip, without that negative experience in that moment, you wouldn't have maybe come to that conclusion. Or maybe you're on your way to that conclusion. But my point is, it takes those kind of experiences that to help you understand what it is you need to be doing in order to. I hate the idea of achieving happiness, but that's the words I was going to use in that. But the idea of achieving happiness, there's no such thing, right? Like you work towards fulfilling your potential. Like that's all you can do, and along the way you'll experience happiness. But you're going to experience a lot of other things. But you'll experience a lot of other things. You know, you'll sadness and devastation and all these other things. But I think that's where you'll experience the most happiness when you're actively doing things that are... So, like, my point is, ultimately, this is a little bit more personal, but it's like when we're at a point when we're, like, actually traveling and doing things for this... media company,
yeah, of course,
and working and traveling and doing cool shit like that I think will allow for the emotions of satisfaction and fulfilling the potential, because there's work, you're working, you're being productive, and you're doing that cool shit.
That's what we're working towards. It's just hard to cope in the meantime. Like, I have no doubt. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a process. I know we have a runway for taking off, and that there is that we, you know, you have to grind and hustle and be patient, all that shit. It's the coping with it that I'm having an issue with. So, you know, I had that meltdown and I took it and I've processed it. And I'm using it.
And that might be specifically what our issue is as millennials, is coping with the patience. because that previous
we're instant gratification. Like that's what we expect.
Generation and generations before that, the only thing they had to be patient for was meeting someone to marry, and then they married them as soon as they were 18.
Yeah.
And then the next thing they had to be patient with is nothing. Like they literally worked and raised kids the whole rest of their life.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, because they probably stuck to the same
They'd be
job,
patient until they paid off their house, you know, in 30 years. And it's like, shit, we've only been alive for 30 years. People have been paying off their house for 30 years.
I know.
So, but I think that is part of it. So when we talk about having issues coping with being patient in terms of achieving our goals, it's like a foreign concept to our parents and their parents.
It is. And my issue might not be me being patient. It might be the expectations from other people and me being impatient to meet them because...
Well, yeah, and you being impatient with yourself and other people being impatient with you all at different levels. Because the other people around you, including people maybe that you work for, are all part of the same instant gratification generation as well.
It's true.
And so maybe they have, you know, ideas or things. But anyways, I digress. I was just trying to elaborate a little bit on those emotions. But you just explained about what happened on your Saturday night in Miami.
I know that was Friday night. Yeah, that was just Friday night.
So Saturday, take us into Saturday.
So Saturday, I woke up. You know, I watched the sunrise on Saturday morning. Woke up 10 o'clock, went and picked up Crystal. She flew in. And Crystal moved to Vermont, so we were like excited to see her because we hadn't seen her in a while. And we picked her up, we came back, what did we do? We got ready, went to Wynwood, and there's this muralist artist that we've been following, and his name's Alex.
What does that mean, muralist?
Muralist. He paints murals like on walls. Like,
muralist.
Muralist.
I thought you were like muralist. Like he doesn't have any murals. I was like, what kind of artist is muralist?
No. Well, he's a muralist.
It's like he creates art but refuses to make them into murals. Like, okay.
He made a Real Madrid mural. Like he incorporated because we went for a clásico.
Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real Madrid. Madrid. He did this. Omar really wanted to go. Like we both follow this artist on Instagram. Like me and Omar follow the same Instagram. Like we all talk about the like artists that we follow. We're like, oh, did you see this guy's stuff? Did you see this chick's post? Anyways, so we went there and took pictures, and then after that we went to South Beach and we went to Las Olas, which was a Cuban restaurant. It's supposed to be like pretty cheap, pretty good, right on South Beach. We went and got some cafecitos there, cortaditos, which is like a latte kind of. It's like a Cuban espresso and foamed milk.
Cortados, pero pequeños.
Pero pequeños, yeah.
Cortaditos.
Cortaditos. Cortaditos. And then, so we got some of those, got a Cuban sandwich, and then rolled out to South Beach. We went to the beach and got in the water. It was great. I mean, it was so dope. Like, we're out there. So many people out there. We met some people from, I think, Austin. They were, like, acro yoga guys. So Omar was, like, getting footy of them, like, doing their stuff in the water. And after that, we had a run.
Gymnasts and stuff?
Yeah, like, like cheerleader gymnast type shit. But we had to leave there because Jessica, Omar, and Crystal had to go to the game. And I rented the car, right? So I was like, okay, I'll drive you guys. Well, we were in traffic probably an hour and a half.
Hell no, I don't like Uber that shit.
Right?
Chill at the beach.
Nah.
Hell no, you're tripping.
I know I am tripping. I said I would. But I was cool. Like, I was like, okay, that's my Saturday
afternoon. Take them halfway to the traffic.
That's like my Saturday afternoon. I'll go do that. And then dropped them off the game. Like, traffic was heavy, so I just, like, went next door to some casino by the stadium and was, like...
I had done that, too.
Kicking it for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I roll back. Went back to the Airbnb, which was, like, downtown. I should have just stayed in that
Yeah, it
area.
would have made way more sense to chill.
It would have made way more sense to chill. But I still got a good couple hours in at our spot and just like ate and looked for jobs and shit. And then I went back to pick them up, and oh my god, the ride back was I was in traffic 2 hours. I mean, I picked them up. We got back in 30 minutes. So I was we got back in 45 minutes. So, I mean, it took me an hour and 15 minutes to get to them and 45 minutes to get back.
Damn.
I know. And then so by that time...
I'd have just gone out by the stadium with all of them.
We would have to find parking. I don't know. Like, that was the plan, Pat. That was the plan. And then on Friday...
Fucked everything up.
No. On Friday night, after, like, my meltdown, I changed my plan because I didn't have a ticket. I was all about that sneak in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know me. I was all about that sneak in life. And then after my Friday thing, I just kind of was like, I gave up on it. I do not know why. I was just like, you know what? I just want to be in the car.
Well, you just wanted some alone time, I think.
I just wanted some alone time.
For Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. And so after I dropped them off, after I picked them up when we got back, it was like already like 12:30. And, you know, they were tired from the game.
Yeah.
Everybody else was chilling. And I was, like, ready to go out. Like, it was Saturday in Miami. And everybody was like, we're going to sleep. So I got ready, and I dipped and took the car, and drove over to South Beach by myself. Like,
yeah, that's tight.
Well, and I told myself, like, I took my camera and I was like, you know what? If anything, I'm gonna walk around and get some footy. Like, I'll just get some B-roll and I'll just be fine. And, you know, I'll be dressed cute. So like, if a guy sees me and wants to talk to me, he can come talk to me. If not, I'll just be chilling and walking around. If I get in a club, I'll get in a club. If I don't, I don't. Like, so I went and did that. I actually met up with some dudes. All right. I met up with some dudes that we had met the night before. They were like having dinner down there, so I just like went and like sat at their table and kicked it with them for a while, and then went to this other like little outdoor patio club and just like had a real chill time. Like,
that sounds dope.
Yeah, I mean it was real chill, but I was by myself, so I didn't expect anything. Like, I didn't expect it to be magnificent. I just expected me to go and get into some shit. You know what I'm saying?
That happened
like,
to me when I was in Florida also. When I was in Daytona Beach, I got separated from the group I was with. I was a little ornery maybe or something, but I wasn't like happy doing with what everyone else was doing. And so like I kind of went off and did my own thing and like found out they were at... It was actually the same club, but, like, outside there was a DJ who was playing, like, dope dance music on the beach. Like, it was dope. It was at night and on the beach, like, you could dance to music or whatever. But I went inside the club because I hadn't been in there yet. And there was, like, a live band playing all kinds of dope cover songs, and they were, like, really good. They were playing, like, Outkast songs and, like, Sublime and, like, all kinds of cool stuff. And, I ended up, like, dancing with this girl there, and we were, like, making out all night on the dance floor. Like, it was, like, really, really fun.
Yes.
The only thing I remember about her was she was, like, some second grade teacher from, like, I don't even know where, but...
Alabama. I don't know.
I don't remember. But, it was, like, I just had so much fun by myself, like, that night. I wasn't with anyone else.
Yeah, I was, like, cool, like... We had met a couple of different groups of, like, people that were not from Miami out there visiting. So there was 2 groups of people that I was, like, you know, in contact with, like, via Instagram. Like, hey, are y'all out tonight? What's up? And so I ended up just kicking it with these dudes that were hanging out. And I just, like, had a couple drinks with them or whatever. And then I walked around South Beach. I got up early and went and swam. Like, fucking early as fuck, Pat. Like, I probably didn't get any sleep that night. Like...
This was Sunday morning?
This was Sunday morning. But, I mean, okay, in reality, I found... Are we gonna... Maybe we can edit this out? I don't know.
No, don't give me more work to do.
But, like, let's just say that I found stuff to do.
You can gesture to me, and I'll know what you're talking about. Okay.
We just, like, found stuff to do in between the clubs and the beach. Does that make any sense? Like, we just found there's, like, you know, eating, drinking, stuff to do. Anyways, woke up, went to the beach, went back to our spot, kicked it for a little bit, like, Actually, no. Then we went on. I got on a helicopter for the first time.
You get just a little bit further back from the mic. Barely,
right here.
Yeah, when it starts, you can see yours. When it starts going to the end over there, it's like a little too loud.
Okay. Right here. See.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
So.
Yeah, that's yours. You see it?
Yeah.
Maybe back a little bit. Like, yeah, they're right there. That should be perfect.
So
or you can push it away if you don't want to sit up like that.
I don't like. So Sunday morning. Did that. Went to the beach. Then went on a helicopter. Saw South Beach. Saw Miami Beach and everything from the helicopter. And then went back to our spot, went and had a sushi dinner, and then we had a concert. The whole reason we went to Miami was to go see Prince Royce.
Right.
He's a bachata artist. So his concert was like, I don't know, like half a mile from where we were staying. So we just walked over, kicked it. It was real nice. It was a amphitheater, so it was outdoors.
Okay.
And
you didn't get rained on?
We did get rained on.
At the concert?
Yeah, at the concert. It was
whack.
sprinkling. People were wearing ponchos and had like umbrellas and shit. We did not prepare for that. So we did get rained on. But the show was good. Like the show was really good. It was a great show. We kicked it. And then afterwards there's this like Bayside area where it's like a bunch of restaurants and they had some club going on. So we just like went right there, hung out, and then went back to the Airbnb on Sunday night, and we got there pretty like 10 o'clock. We were all ready to sleep, so we called it a night. Like I would have gone out on Sunday night, but I was tired because I pretty much stayed up Saturday night,
right?
All night. So we woke up on Monday, cleaned up the Airbnb. Me and Jessica went to South Beach, and we went to that Cuban restaurant again to get some.
Damn, is that good?
Yeah. Well, the food wasn't that great, but we got the cortaditos. Like, we were just really needed some freaking good coffee. Like, I don't know. And it's just, like, what we knew. And we know where it was at. So we went there. And then we drove around Ocean Drive and Lincoln Drive and Collins and shit. And just, like, around South Beach. Because it was raining. Like, it was pretty bad, actually. But then we went to Kith. So Kith is, like, a streetwear store. But in Miami, they have what's called Kith Treats. So they have like milkshakes, ice cream, and they do, I don't remember what they call it, but it's like a bowl of cereal. So it's basically like milk and cereal, like milk and ice, or cereal and ice cream.
Caldo de res?
Like what?
Caldo de res?
Yeah. No, not caldo de res.
I'm just kidding.
Like the fucking opposite of caldo de res. So, I don't even remember. I got the Bam Bam. It was Action Bronson's like combination. I know there was Lucky Charm marshmallows in it and Cookie Crisp. I don't remember what else. It was just like a bunch of cereal mixed up in a milkshake.
Ooh.
It was good. But they also sold sneakers, and that's where I showed you that video from.
Oh, okay.
So that's like, I really wanted to go there because I follow Kith on Instagram, and I always see their lookbooks, and I always see all their gear. And I just wanted to go to that store, like, IRL. And so we went there, and then after that, we just, like, kicked it. We kicked it in Miami Beach for a while, and then we had to go return the car. Then we returned the car, and went to the airport, and we were going to leave. And then we didn't leave.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then we ended up staying one more night.
Did you guys all stay or just you two?
Just me and Jess.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wouldn't make sense for them to, like, change their flight.
No, all of them had left before us. We had the latest flight out. So we were, like, flying out at, like, 6. But we didn't fly out. We stayed. And we were at the hospital.
So wait, like, Crystal got there, like, on Friday and only stayed till...
No, she got there on Saturday morning, and she only stayed till, like, Monday afternoon. Her flight was, like, 2 hours before ours. But she left early in the morning because she knew some people there, so she was, like, going to go kick it with them for a little bit. So we didn't get that much time with her.
Oh, I see.
But, yeah, like, we didn't have enough time, Pat. Like, we did not have enough time. That's why I started looking for flights in the airport. Like, I was already looking to come back, like, I didn't go to Wynwood. I didn't even go to Brickell. Like, I didn't even really make it into a club. Like, I didn't go to any of the clubs where Future was there on Friday and we didn't even go.
Damn.
You know, French Montana was there on Saturday and I didn't even make it in. Because, like, I just caught up doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So, I really want to go back. I think you should go back with me. It'll be fun.
I'll be down later in the year. So I want to go September, but I feel like that's like prime time hurricane season now.
October.
And not that that's like normally I wouldn't be scared, but it'd be shitty to go. And then like the whole time it's like, oh, you need to leave the state because it's a hurricane.
Yeah, like why are you here, person?
And then it's just a waste of a trip.
We should go in October. They have a big carnival party.
Yeah.
And I heard it's dope. And then in December they have Art Basel, which is like a big music, a big art
It's so kind of nice
music
there
festival.
in December, huh?
Yeah. And, you know, that's what my friend told me. He said, if you want to come back at those times. Honestly, I'm looking to go back sooner than that. Like, I would go back this weekend if I could. But, yeah, no. Let me just say this. A part of my heart is in Miami. For sure. Like, legit, I felt so at home there. Like, I just loved it so much. Like, I think I could live there. I couldn't live in the suburbs there. I could do, like, what I'm doing now. Like, I live relatively close to downtown. You know, I can make, like, a 15-minute drive and I can get there. And I'm good. You know, I would do that there. And I think that's possible. Like, I would just find somewhere near downtown and then find a job right there. And then I would love that lifestyle. Everybody seems so fit and active. Like, everyone was out going to the beach. Like, it seems so great. And global warming is going to get Miami eventually, so I just want to go enjoy it while it's there.
Yeah, that's going to happen soon,
Ish.
I think.
I mean,
Ish, yeah.
At least while Donald Trump is around. We're not, yeah.
All right. I think I'm done. Are you good? Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I think we...
That sounds like a pretty dope trip.
No, we had a good trip. It was fun. Everybody
You needed
go
more
visit Miami.
mushrooms or acid.
Yeah.
But other than that...
No, and everything else we had enough of, so...
Aye.
Hey.
But, alright, well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Pat.
I'm Ruby.
And this is a Realennial signing off. We'll see you next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, make sure to check out our social media. We're on Instagram.
Yeah, we are on Instagram. It's at the Realennials.
At the Realennials on Instagram.
Yeah, and we're on... Guys, send us more emails.
And we're on Facebook. Our next episode, we're going to do a... question. We're gonna answer a question next time.
We're giving advice out. So somebody send us some questions that you'd like to hear.
We'll be giving
our thoughts on
Realennial advice on our next episode. Check out one of our previous episodes. I think it's our last episode.
Where we give some advice.
That seems to be advice. A hit. So we're gonna do that again.
Oh,
and we're going to get into the thick of things as much as we can, and we're here for you guys, and hopefully you guys are here for us. So make sure to check us out. Hit us with your questions, comments.
Yeah.
And make sure to smash that like button and comment and share if you enjoyed. Put us out there. Help us get out there. We're doing our best. We're still expanding. We're still working on expanding.
Yeah. And subscribe on YouTube. What up?
Yeah, subscribe, get them alerts, especially on Facebook too, because we post all kinds of other funny memes and shit that we see.
Yeah.
So, and check out our Instagram, because that shit's about to be lit.
Litty.
All right, peace, signing out.
Bye.